Good morning, everybody. Matt Moda here to give you my favorite NBA player prop picks today. We're talking Thursday, March 20th. It's actually kind of a bad morning, but we're going to get into that in a little bit. The Splash Zone is back in your life. I'm going to have 3 NBA player prop picks for you guys to lock in today. Didn't love a lot of the board of the NBA betting slate, so I decided to play it a little bit light. Do have 2 plus money bangers, of course, because that's how we do things here. And I did put a small parlay on all 3 of them as well. So, if we have one of those days where we sweep, which it's been a while since we've done that, we'll always have that parlay down. But before we get into it, we do have to do a recap from yesterday, which was pretty brutal. We only got 1 of our 6 plays to cash, so 1 win, 5 losses. We were down about 4 units yesterday. Some bad luck, mostly bad reads, if I'm being honest. I'm not just going to sit up here and pretend that I've only had bad luck. The Jabari Smith Jr. one, obviously, I just missed something on the market here because I locked him in at minus 120. I liked that price. It moved aggressively against me as the day went on, and it closed at plus money. So his minutes were there. What I was expecting, it was just a bad game, just a bad read. Jalen Duren was close. He had 11 rebounds. Cade ended up getting a triple-double in that one, so Cade stole all the rebounds. McBride, I loved the play on McBride. It was a good matchup. He had the volume. Unfortunately, the volume was still there. He just couldn't make anything. So it was just another tale for Miles McBride not being able to make a shot. This one was really frustrating because Kyle Filipowski double-double. The entirety of my analysis was based on him playing without Walker Kessler. Walker Kessler was ruled out on Tuesday night. He was ruled out as of Wednesday morning, and then they ruled him in. I didn't know teams could do that, just rule someone out and then change their mind. I wouldn't have bet the double-double if I'd known Walker Kessler was playing, but you got to take your lumps. That one's an L. And then Luka didn't really even come close. So on the entire season, that now brings our profit to 26.48 units. It's been a pretty rough stretch. The last week and a half or so has been pretty brutal. 26 units of profit, 4.79% ROI is still green. Obviously, I was hoping to be better at this point, but it just hasn't been my season. As you can see, the 2024 data, looking at markets, a lot more negative than there was in the 2023 data. So I just haven't been able to recapture that magic. Hopefully we can end this season on a hot streak, have a good playoffs, forget how frustrating this NBA season has been. We're going to get into the bangers now. I do have my favorite NBA betting tool on the screen here, Props Madness. I use them every day with my NBA bets. I know a lot of people use them every day with their NBA bets, people that make a lot more money on the NBA than me or have made a lot more this year. But if you want to check them out, I put a link to them in the description of the video. So the first play that I have locked in here is LaMelo Ball. I took him 25 plus points. Now you can still get 25 plus at plus 110 odds at Hard Rock. And one book that I recently partnered with, and I reached out to them because I wanted a partnership because I like their book so much. It's called No Vig. You can basically request odds. The way it works is there's a market. You can put in what odds you want, how much you would risk, and then someone has the option to match that on the other side. So a lot of situations where if I'm not able to get the odds that I initially wanted or the odds moved or whatever like that, I'll put in a request on No Vig and I'll see if I can get it matched. If it gets matched, perfect. My bet's out there at the odds that I want. If it doesn't get matched, you just get a refund. So I highly, highly recommend checking out No Vig. I put a screenshot on the screen here of just all the states they're available in. It's 42. If you sign up, it would help me out a lot if you do sign up using the link in the description of the video. Use my code, I believe it's MODI, M-O-D-I, all caps. I just think it's a really good product, which is why I'm recommending it. In terms of the play for LaMelo Ball, so we're going 25 plus points. It's definitely gross. He hasn't really been shooting well recently. I mean, you look at his last 10 games, and I'm going to take out this filter here, but his last 10 games, it's 4 of 10. Now, this game right here, they lost by 53. He only played 22 minutes. It's unlikely that they're going to lose by 53. Even if they get blown out, he'll probably play more than 22 minutes. And then this game here, he only played 23 minutes, but that was a game in which he was in foul trouble that entire game and he got fouled out. So that's kind of an unlikely thing for LaMelo Ball as well. Outside of that, his minutes are relatively where they've been all year, 32 minutes on the season. If you take those 2 games out, so we just look at the last 2 times he's played 24 in that same stretch, it's 32.1 minutes. It's the exact same as his average. And recently, 4 of 7 in his last 7 games isn't terrible. Obviously, his last 24 is pretty brutal. What I like is the matchup. He's going up against the New York Knicks, who allow the most points to the pick and roll ball handler in the entire NBA. Literally 30 out of 30 points per game allowed to the pick and roll ball handler. And even if you want to tell me their defense has gotten better since Jalen Brunson got hurt, they've still been getting smoked by guards. Both Chris Paul and Stephon Castle hit their point prop over against them last night. Hero missed it, but then Davion Mitchell went over his. Moses Moody, Steph Curry, who we were on Steph in this game, in this exact matchup. 10 of the last 15 guards have smoked them. And LaMelo Ball, even though his scoring has been down, we're going to look at games specifically with, with Miles Bridges to get as good of a representation as we can. We look at games where he's played teams in the bottom half in terms of guarding the pick and roll. And remember, the Knicks are 30th, literally the worst. This entire season, he's hit the over in 14 of 21 games. He's averaging 26 points per game. That's 2/3 of the time he goes over. And even if you say, okay, hey, he hasn't been shooting well recently, let's look at his more recent games. His last 10 is still 6 of his last 10. That's since January. And since February, it's only 3 of 6, but that one game was the one where they lost by 53, and he scored, or he only played 22 minutes. The other two, he came close, 24 minutes against the Spurs, 20, not that close against the Wizards, but then cashed in 3 straight, including in a rematch against the Spurs, in only 29 minutes, he did that. So I really like this play on LaMelo Ball to score 25 plus points. Again, right now, Hard Rock is the best offered price at plus 110. It was plus 110 at DraftKings, but they immediately moved it after I placed that bet. So if you can't use Hard Rock or that plus 110 is no longer available, I would try to put it on No Vig at plus 110. Now, if you're in a state or you're not in the US and you can't use No Vig, then the next best price here is minus 105 at bet 365, and I would still take it at that number. So a lot of stuff for you guys able to bet. Next up, I have 2 plays here in the Bucks-Lakers game, and these are my last 2 plays of the video as well. I'll give you quickly some leans that I was looking at, just so if you guys want more than 3 bets. Luka, first quarter points, you got to go back to this one. Over 8.5, minus 120 odds at bet 365. This is the exact bet that I locked in. No issues with this Luka one. So you take out his first 3 games with the Lakers because he didn't really play a lot of minutes in those 3. He's gone over this number in 10 of his last 13 games. Now, normally I would be scared off by the fact that he's scored over this number in 4 straight games, especially coming off of a game where he just scored 21 in the first quarter. Couple of things here. Number one, the volume that he's putting up in the first quarter is absolutely insane. Averaging over 7 shots in the first quarter. And then last night alone, he put up 11. Last time against the Nuggets, the game before that, he put up 11. Now, I bet Luka assists last night. That was the wrong play. It should have been his first quarter, or I should have just done both. But I just didn't want 2 bets on the same player. He's averaging 12 points per game in this stretch. In the games, specifically without LeBron, he's gone over in 5 of 6. The only one that he didn't was back in March 10th against the Nets, and he put up 9 shots in the first quarter. I would gladly take someone putting up 9 shots in the first quarter. The last time these 2 teams played, he scored 16 points in the first quarter, got to the line 7 times, made 3 threes. It's just insane the type of volume that this guy's putting up, Luka. Now, from a play type perspective, technically Luka scores the majority of his points via free throws. The most important thing here is the pick and roll ball handler, which the Bucks give up the 7th most points per game to pick and roll ball handlers. They're a bad matchup for guards like Luka, who have the ball in their hands a lot and who can pull up, as evidenced by the fact that 9 of 13 players, similar to Luka Doncic, have hit their point prop over, including all 3 since the All-Star break. James Harden, Trae Young, and Luka, all pull-up guards that take a lot of shots at the above the break 3, all hit their point prop over against the Lakers, or excuse me, against the Bucks since the All-Star break. So I really, really like this one. You could go 10 plus for plus money if you wanted to. DraftKings absolutely does not have the best odds here. I like the 8.5 number because if he just makes 3 threes, we're cashing that out. And in the first quarter, the points are incredibly valuable. So in this case, I'm actually not pumping it up to get plus money, but I do really, really like this play on Luka Doncic. And then the other bet that I have is I went with Dame, and I went with him on the assists. Now, a couple things here. You see that he's only hit it in 5 of his last 14 games, specifically with Giannis and with Kyle Kuzma. A couple things here. Number one, he just had this brutal stretch where he could not get anything. I mean, 3 of 11, 4 of 14, 6 of 13, 4 of 11. So 5 of 5, finally a good conversion rate, only 5 potential assists, 4, and they didn't track potential assists in this game, and then 4 of 9. So just a brutal stretch. After that, cash in 3 straight, 11 of 15, 10 of 19, 8 of 14. And then since then, he's missed it in 2 straight. So it's kind of just like a big ebb and flow with Dame and his assists. I like the fact that he's missed it in 2 straight games. Now, against the Thunder, only 2 of 9. Obviously, we want more than 9 potential assists. He's also going to convert more than like 10%, 20%, which is what he did in this game. Last game against the Warriors, 4 assists on 12 potential. Again, he's going to come out of that and have a higher conversion rate. Like on the entire year, he converts about 55% of his potential assists. And it comes after the fact that he just had 3 great games in a row. Now you can get over 6.5 or plus 110. I probably should have told you that. This is the exact bet that I took. Over 6.5 assists, plus 110 odds at Bet365. I was really close to laddering this to 8 and even up to 10, but I decided to play it safe, which I probably shouldn't do. I probably got a little too spooked after how last night and how the last week has gone, but I just kind of wanted a night where I didn't have over 6 units risked. But I really like this play on Dame. So I kind of went through like the fade recent results aspect of it. The matchup is phenomenal. 10 of 15 guys, similar to Damian Lillard, have hit their assist prop over against the Lakers. And again, 3 for 3 since the All-Star break. Devin Booker had 11 assists. He had 24 potential assists in this game. Damian Lillard, last time these two teams played, 10 assists on 19 potential assists. And then the game before that, looking against the Lakers, again, this is guys similar to Damian Lillard. Jalen Brunson had 10 assists. He had 14 potential assists in this game. So, Dame coming off of a game where he only converted 4 of his 12 potential assists. If we just look this year, how Dame has done, and when he's gotten 12 potential assists, because he generally has a high conversion ratio, 75% conversion rate. Actually, even go to the entire season, 70% conversion ratio when he's getting 12 potential assists to get at least 7. And if we wanted to ladder to 8, it's 55, which you can get at plus 200 something odds. So I really, really like this play on Damian Lillard and his assist prop. I think that it's a great look. Let's hope that it does come to fruition. A couple things here. One thing that I did forget to mention regarding Luka is I kind of got distracted. So again, normally, like I said, I'd be scared off of the fact that he hit it in 4 straight. But I like the fact that you look at his point prop, he's gone under in 2 of them. So it's not like he's shot well the entire game. He's actually done the opposite, where he scores a lot in the first quarter and then doesn't do anything the rest of the quarter. And that's kind of what I am expecting in this game as well. Like if you look at his last, we want to look at since this Hornets game. So his last 11 games, he's gone over his point prop in only 5 of 11. He's gone over 8.5 first quarter points in 8 of 11. So you just kind of see the difference between the first quarter and the full game for Luka. So I really like this one. A couple looks that I was debating. This Nets-Pacers game was tough for me because the Pacers are on the second half of a back-to-back. Now, they sat Halliburton last night, so he's probably going to play tonight. So Siakam went off last night. If you're thinking that he's just going to kind of bounce back the other way with Halliburton in, it could be an under for Siakam. It's not a tough matchup at all. So I'm certainly not taking that under. If you just look at the play types and guys similar, it's really only because Halliburton's back. On the net side, Keon Johnson is a player that I was debating taking last game. I'm glad I didn't, because I would have taken him 15 plus and he didn't cash that. But he's been playing more with D'Lo without Cam Thomas. Cam Thomas is out for the year. The 13.5 number he's hit in 10 of 19 games, and that's actually 15 plus. He's hit in 10 of 19 as well. He's never ended on exactly 14. Matchup against the Pacers is average. They're kind of middle of the pack, kind of everywhere. Guys similar to him, same thing, kind of middle of the pack. Now, they have gotten worse since the All-Star break. Granted, it's the same 2 guys, but Giddey hit his point prop twice, and then Daniels missed it one, hitting the other. So Keon Johnson is where I would go for the Nets in this one, probably 15 plus. I talked a lot about this Knicks-Hornets game, or I talked about a play I had. Bulls-Kings is another tough one. Both of these teams are on the second half of a back-to-back. Josh Giddey had his first game back last night. Initially, they said he wouldn't play on the second half of a back-to-back, and then they kind of walked that back. So I don't know if Giddey is going to play. You have the revenge narrative for Kevin Huerter, for Zach LaVine, and for DeMar DeRozan. Now, LaVine missed last night, but his point prop is way too high for my liking. I mean, since he's been on the Kings, you look at games with Malik Monk, he's only hit his over 23.5 in 2 of 15 games. Now, Sabonis is out, but even games with Monk and without Sabonis, it's 0 for 3. And it's not like his field goal attempts have been that high either. He's averaging just under 10. That's disgusting. In those, it's granted it's only 3 games, but even with Monk, he's averaging just under 15 field goal attempts per game. When we're asking him to score 24, 25 points, I think they're baking in an account the fact that it's a revenge narrative against the Bulls. I just think it's a little too high for my taste. If I'm wrong on this, so be it. So those are 2 that I looked at. Assists for DeMar, I really like. It's just gotten a little too high. Initially, his assist prop was 3.5 for minus 110, 4.5 for minus 110. Now it's 5.5 for even money, even minus 115 at some books. Now, like, he's been good as a passer. Like, we look at games with Monk and even without Sabonis. Now, it's only 1 of 3, but it's 4, 5, and 7. Now, if his prop was what it normally is, it'd look good, but 5.5 is too rich for my blood, so I didn't really bet that one. Valanciunas, I just never know how much he's going to play. Like, if you look at games without Sabonis, let's go with DeMar, because we want to look at when he's on the Kings. Minutes per game, 26.4. That sounds good, and it would be rebounds, or it'd probably be rebounds for Valanciunas if I were to bet it, because, like, I mean, you see the 5 out of 7 games. But the thing that scares me off is this game right here. He had 9 rebounds. This was at halftime. He had 9 rebounds at halftime. He played 14 minutes. He didn't play in the second half. I know this because I bet this game. And I thought that it was going to, I went to bed thinking that it was going to win, and he didn't play in the second half. Now, that seems like an outlier because the other games, 25, 22, 42, that's crazy. He's not going to play 42 either. 27, 32, and 23. So he should at least play 20 minutes. I just got kind of spooked by that. And, like, if I don't know he's going to play, it's scary to bet either way, because if he plays the full game, then yeah, he should get 12 boards. If he doesn't, then I want to take his under points, which 14.5 is pretty high. Granted, you're playing minus 132. So the safer would probably be the under points for Valanciunas. I also kind of wanted to fade Keegan Murray with guys back in the lineup. Murray's been brutal this year in general. I mean, he's averaging 12 points per game. Been a little bit better recently, but he really only annihilates the good matchups. And as bad as the Bulls are on defense, they're not a bad spot-up team. They're above average both in spot-up and transition. What they suck at doing is guarding roll-men and pick-and-roll ball handlers, and then off-screen as well. But Keegan Murray doesn't really run off-screen. So if you look at games with Keegan Murray against teams, you take out the top 10 in terms of spot-ups. So these are only teams that are top 20 guarding spot-up shooters. He's gone under he's gone under, or I should say he's only gone over in 18 of 42 games. Now, it's been better recently. So if you want to say that, like, whatever slump he's in, he's been better recently. 4 of 10 is better. So there's a couple looks for you. You know, it felt like I was trying to force one of these plays if I was betting it, and that's kind of something that I've been really trying to not do, is force a play, which is why I'm playing things a little bit light. If I went 5 for 6 yesterday, I probably wouldn't be as scared off as I am today. But, you know, it's after a night like that, you kind of want to just play things lighter, especially in a slate that's a little bit wonky with 2 back-to-backs. The Lakers are also on a back-to-back. The Pacers are on a back-to-back, and they sat some guys. And then it's guys like the Knicks are also on a back-to-back. The Nets, we don't know. The Raptors, we don't know. So it's kind of why I held off on playing anything super heavy tonight. But that's all we got. So in terms of what our official bets were, just to confirm, it's Luka over 8.5 first quarter points. It's Damian Lillard over 6.5 assists. It's LaMelo Ball, 25 plus points. I did put all of them in a small 0.2 unit parlay if you want to tail. Real quick, before we get out of here, just want to kind of give you guys some stuff to check out. Link to Props Madness, which I just walked you through how I use them. I also put a link to my Tails account, which is just where I send all my plays out. So the same plays you see me give out on YouTube, I first send out on Tails. So you're able to get them before the odds change and stuff like that. Or if you just don't want to watch the YouTube videos, you can do that as well. As you can see, it's the same plays, like recap of my full card, Luka, LaMelo, Damian Lillard, screenshot of the parlay that I placed. Sometimes, which is cool about Tails, is I can give you a link directly to the bet. So you can actually like click place bet and it'll take you to the sportsbook. Other times, like a pumped up number or certain markets like first quarter, I'm not able to do that. So I'll just kind of recap or list what I'm playing, the units, all that stuff. And I'll give you my notes. So if you're interested, check them out. And then, of course, check out NoVig, which is a great app if you want to request your own lines. Always try to get whatever odds that you're only comfortable betting. Again, they're only legal in 42 states. I put the map up. I'll put it up again here where they are legal. If you check them out, again, use the link in the description of the video. Use my promo code, blah, blah, blah. Regardless, I appreciate you guys for watching. I know that there's a lot of avenues in which you can get stuff from people like me giving out their favorite plays. So I'm always appreciative of the people that choose me. I'm sorry for the rough night yesterday, last night. Make sure to bet responsibly and have a good one.